All right, well, welcome back to the iWealth podcast. I'm with my buddy Mega Matt. I had a really cool conversation the other day, Matt. I received a call from a local school that said that there was a freshman. The email said there's a freshman in high school that's doing day trading and might want to quit school. Would you talk to him? I'm like, well, this is interesting. Like,
ooh, definitely interesting.
Of course, I want to help people, of course, but it's also really interesting. And so my question to you, Matt, like, did you ever think about day trading when you were a freshman in high school? Like,
absolutely not.
Where does your head go when I because we didn't tee this up at all. Like, where's your head go when I say a freshman's thinking about day trading, wondering if they should be in school because they're missing out on money?
Yeah,
because they're at school and not day trading.
And
like,
not day
what's
trading.
Your head think? Like, what advice?
Well, the first thing I want to find out is I want to know more, right? Like, I mean, are they hundreds of thousands of dollars? Or are they millions of dollars up? Or are they hundreds of thousands of dollars down? I want to know more, right? That's the first thing I think. And then the second thing I think is you're missing something. Like, you're missing something cool by not being there at school.
Oh.
Like that universal thing.
Yeah.
It's like, hi, I'm from this town. Did you go to high school? Da-da-da, right? Like, that's almost the second question.
Yeah.
Universally, at least in the middle of the Midwest, right?
Where my head went is like, first of all, pretty special individual.
Yeah.
Like, if they're already attuned to do it or even think about it as a freshman, like, they're pretty special. My head goes to like Mark Zuckerberg, and it goes to Steve Jobs.
Yeah, we're dealing with a unique individual.
Somebody that, Elon Musk, people that went to college didn't finish college because they just, they were out, they were special.
Yep.
So my head's like, well, this could be a special kid. So anyway, I met with the kid. Came in, had a tie on, had lunch, and I asked him, I'm like, well, I just wanted to find out more about this guy, and found out he comes from a good home, upbringing. I kind of talked about mom and dad and siblings and stuff like that. Knew some people in common. But although my head went to these people I dropped out of college, I know you can't drop out of high school. Like, you need to finish, right? And so my main goal going into this not knowing anything was like, you got to stay in school, right? Well, what I discovered was it wasn't that he didn't want to stay in school, but he wanted to be homeschooled instead of going to school. And part of his why was, I'm wasting 40 minutes of every hour, because they give you instructions for 20 minutes. You got to sit there for 40 minutes and work on stuff. Like, let's just go to the next subject kind of thing. But what was super interesting is, as he talked about, so he pulled open his computer, showed me his day trading thing, right? There's this website, I don't remember what it was, that you can go to and you can play with fake money. Trade like it's real money, but it's not yours. And so there was $50,000 that you put in this account, and I think it was like at $52,800. So he's up $2,800, hypothetically fake.
Yep.
Then he had his own trading account that he put $100 in, and it was worth like $56. So he had lost on his own account, but he was watching these spots and picking, and I let him explain, and he was passionate about it. But then I went deeper, and I said, there's something more than just trading. Tell me what's going on. He's like, well, I work at this place, and I see these old guys like me, 60s, I'm 51, but I see these old guys, and they're starting to buy these cool cars because they're retired and things. He's like, I don't want to wait until I'm 60. Yeah. I want to buy this car when I'm like 32 years old.
Okay.
And I'm like, I love this. Okay, you aspire because you want something. That's cool. Like, tell me about, like, have you ever been entrepreneurial? He's like, oh, yeah. I said, well, what was your first time, like, you made some money? He's like, well, my mom made some cookies for my brother. Yeah. And I took a bunch of school and I sold them. And I made money. And then he said, and then he said that moved on to, the school didn't supply like these power drinks or these energy drinks. So he said, I went to Walmart and I bought like a case of these. And then I had them in my locker, and I sold them for $3 a piece. I made $2 on every one of them. And he said I did this for like a month. I made like $100 off these older students that wanted these energy drinks. And then he got shut down by the school. Yeah. So then my head's like, Matt, like, this kid's entrepreneurial, right? Like, he's got some skills in there that he wants to. And so I led him down the path of thinking bigger. I said, I want you to day trade. That's fine. Like, explore that. But you had also did like this candy sales and things like that. Like, this is just your next thing that you're doing. I want you to think bigger about the future. And what does that look like? Because I don't believe it's day trading. I went to Perplexity and I pulled up, percent of day traders that make it. It's like 1% that make it. Like, many people can't day trade and make a living at it, okay? So I explained that to him to educate. But then I went back to like his heart. And I'm like, what drives you? And then I gave him some advice about finding friction. Have you ever thought about this from an entrepreneur? Like, I read this book recently, and it talked about a film, removing the film. I kind of think of it as friction. Like, what friction do you see in the world? Like, you go work at your job. What issues are people having problems with, and solve it?
Yep.
And that's your next business. Or people don't want to mow yards. Go start mowing yards, but have 10 people mowing and you take care of the books. Like, figure out what that friction is and kind of work on it. But what are you thinking as I'm telling
Well, did you
this
ask
story?
the young guy about friction in his world? If there's something else bigger that he wanted to chase, or?
Yeah, he didn't have anything now, but I could see his
wheels
head
starting
spinning
to turn
about what friction can I solve, kind of thing, And then I told him this. I said, I'm not convinced you have to go to college. Like, college isn't for everybody.
Yep.
So do you really need to go there? Because I said, what do you aspire? And he said, well, I want to finish school and I want to go to college. And I said, what do you want to do in college? And he said, well, I want to get like a business degree or entrepreneur degree or something like that. And so then I backed up and I said, absolutely need to finish school. Now, whether it's homeschool or at your local school, that's up between you and your parents. I'm not getting involved there. But you need to finish school. You need to figure that out and get your GED and get that done. But if you follow the friction idea and solve some friction and your business starts to grow, you might not need to go to college, right? Or maybe you go to some two-year school and get a business degree that you can understand books and numbers and stuff better. Like, what do you need to do, kind of thing.
Yep.
So that was my kind of advice. But we exchanged phone numbers, and I'll stay in touch to help mentor this kid and help him along. But it was super impressed with him, his thought pattern. But I don't think anyone's ever explored him to think bigger.
Yep.
It was just about, hey, I can trade, and maybe my $100 becomes $300.
Yeah.
And maybe it becomes $1,000, and maybe it becomes $10,000, versus overarching, like, there's something bigger for you in life.
Yeah. There's a bigger why.
Yeah.
Because if you just are chasing that quick little dollar, that is a pretty short-lived.
Yeah. Yeah. So, my lessons was, one, first of all, hats off to the school to be proactive for this kid. Yep. To say, do you want to just get someone's opinion and talk about this day trading thing, right? So congratulate the school, great job. Hats off to mom and dad for letting this kid explore.
Yep.
Make his own. It's his own $100 in there that turned into 52, right? Like, it's his money he made. But hats off to mom and dad. And hats off to mom and dad knowing to allow him to come to my office because they knew that what was happening. And then hats off to him on having that entrepreneurial kind of spirit.
And for wearing a tie.
Exactly.
As a young guy in high school.
He outdressed me that day. So, yeah. Anyway, I thought it was a really cool story to tell. And hopefully, the meaning in this is to visit with your kids about what their future's like and removing friction in the world. And maybe it becomes their business,
Get to make it a little better place.
That's right. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's podcast and have a great day.
Later.